All right. You remember my famous parts bags? Here's all the clean parts that I did. I did go over these off camera to see if everything came out good, and it did. One thing I did do was these tracks in here. I did clean extra good with a toothbrush and alcohol, just to make sure that I got everything out of there so that it'll slide good when I go back. This I polished up a little bit with the Dremel and the wire brush. The presser foot and the thumb screw was beautiful. The feed dogs I did go over with the Dremel brush just to buff them up a little bit and make them look nice. So, and then I always check the bobbin holder very well, which I'll be showing you later when I check the how it works when I do the adjustment period. But you know, when the hook does grab that thread, it drags it right around here, and it's dragging that thread right over the top of this. So if this has been scratched up or bunged up or something, you're going to have to sand it down or grind it down or polish it. This one looked very good. You know, all the parts are there. Everything is in place. There was a couple spots back here that I ran the wire brush over, just a little tarnishing and stuff. But this bobbin case is it's in real good shape. And I don't know if excuse me, I don't know if this is the original bobbin case. I think it is. There's some numbers stamped here, very small. Some of the others that I've done in the 4, 5, 6, 700, well, not 700, that's Apollo, but they've had the whole part number stamped up here. But it looks and feels like an original, and I know it's a little different because you know, this was made in Great Britain, which means Kilbowie, Scotland. So it's in good shape. I didn't have to do anything. I polished the head of the screw. These are the little feed dog screws. You know, they're good. So before I get started, I'm going to take the needle out, and I temporarily put the hand wheel back in so I could move this stuff. So I'm going to get the needle bar up and the presser bar up, and I'll take the oil again and just make sure I got a little bit of oil for the screws for the feed dogs, and just make sure I got these little screw holes cleaned out good. But this is just reassembly. This is just putting stuff back that you took off. And I wanted to show you about the hook and the hook timing and stuff before I put this back in here. You can time the hook with the feed dogs being in there, but it's a lot easier to see if they're not. And so that's why I went ahead and showed you that. But putting this stuff back in here, you know, if you're a fumble finger like me, you just gotta be patient and try and get it in there. This screw, when I'm facing the machine, the feed dog screw on the right is always the hardest for me, just to get access to with screwdrivers sometimes. I've got long ones and short ones, and here's my little 2 for $99 deal, and that one seems to get into a few of them. So these are gonna snug down good. And you know, when you tighten them, you always press down hard so you don't strip that. I've seen so many of the screws in this area where people turn left or right real hard but didn't press down, and the screws are pretty beat up. And as I mentioned, you just can't go to the hardware store and say, give me one of these. I've never had any luck with that. You know, I tell them it's from a Singer, and they say, well, you know, that thread count is 14.5 per inch, and you know, everything we have is going to be 15 or 13 or 16, like that, so I can't help you out, you know. So I'm just going to put the one screw in because I'm sure you're going to get the idea. I think the other thing I might do is, if you remember, we took that clamp post out. That was a while back. This cleaned up very nice too. I did take a cloth and put some of that brasso polishing compound and get it all cleaned up, because I want it to, you know, I want it to operate really nice. So this has the little spring, and it's got the little retaining like cotter pin or wire pin that holds it. So I think I might put that in, and I'm pretty sure that that drops in here, and then there's my slide plate spring. Then from down here I would, can you see that? Down here I'd hold the top of that, and you know, you put the spring on here, and you've got to press that spring up past where you're going to clip it, hold it up there, and then you got to get this wire clip on there. So it'd be nice to have 3 hands, but let's see if I can get that up there. Maybe by putting pressure on it with my thumbnail will keep that from sliding away. Oh man, I think I'm gonna grab my needle nose. Up. Let me get this set. I think I'll try and put it on like this with my needle nose. So let me see if I can get that going again. I had it there for a minute, and get that spring up in there and hold it. Oh, up! Come on, get it up there. And I wonder how many professional men and women repairmen get together and drink beer and wine and watch my videos for a laugh. Oh shoot. Alright. And speaking of that, when anybody who watches my videos, if I'm doing something wrong, I really hope you let me know. And if you know a better way to do something, I'd really like to have you share that, because you know, knowledge is power. If you've got a better, quicker, more proper way, it would be great. Let's see if I can get that guy on there now. Come on, you. Whoop. Hey, look at that. I got it. Yay, hey. All right. So let's get this guy back up here. And yay. Really nice. I think I'll put a I oiled that shaft after I polished it. I oiled all the small parts and stuff, but I think while I'm there, so I don't forget, I'll just I'll bring that up and I'll put a drop of oil in there. Get some of this good old tri-flow. A couple drops. And then I'll just spin it around to spread it, and we're good to go. Okay, so moving on then, I would put this spring clip back in there. It goes like that with the little bow going up, and this goes right in. A little bit of oil in there. This is the retaining screw. Yeah, maybe I'll put a drop of oil on there. The thing is, if you ever have to take this out, it might be years from now. And, you know, you don't want these things all tarnished or stuck together. So this kind of tri-flow with the Teflon, even if it dries out, you'll still have some of the Teflon molecules in there, which will enable you to break it free and get it out of there. So you've got to center that spring on the edges here. That's how it rests. That's how it gets bowed. And then you're going to be nice and firm. You don't want to crank too hard. Usually, I'll turn it till it stops and come back just a quarter of a turn or so, because if it's too hard, this is so tight, yeah, you can hardly get the plate going there. So to put the plate on, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna put some few more drops of oil in here and get my brush, my oil brush, and I'm going to just brush along these edges here. Put another very light coat of oil here before I put this in. And I think get a little more there. I think I'll go in there and just run some oil in there like that too. Alright. So we go past the spring there, and the easiest way I found is just see the little cutouts in the corner. So just hold it there and gently lift one side and up and get that corner, get this corner started, and then come over here and lift that up a smidge and get the other corner engaged, and then you're good. Oh man, that's tight. Whoa. Oh, okay, it's getting better now. Okay, I can live with that. If it's too tight, just slide it back off and loosen that screw another little bit. If it's too loose and this, flops around on you, then tighten it up a little bit. See if I can get the back of this up. Maybe it'll tilt it to you a little bit. Oh, right into the shadow. How's that? Is that any better? Okay, here's the cushion spring that holds the bobbin case. So you're going to lift that up with your thumbnail or a screw. You lift that up and then you swing it to your right about a 1/4 inch. That opens this area up so that you can put in the bobbin holder. And then I'm going to, I've already oiled the bobbin race a couple times, but I'll show you. Let's see if I can get this up better. I think we talked about this with the cleaning before. That kind of slot right in there is what goes around on that hook. So I always just get a little in there to get it started. And when you oil, they'll tell you to put a drop of oil on that race, and then when you turn it, it'll get in there anyway. But so we'll put that in with that kind of fork facing up, and we'll set it down on the race and move it to the left. So it's nice and flat. It's in position. Then we'll lift that cushion spring up and move it over so it goes around the head of that screw. There's a little hole screw there. So you can see that little tiny bit of give, and that's okay. Look at that. And then we'll check the gap here and everything when we do our adjustments, and we'll make sure that everything is good. If it's not, we'll adjust it. I think I might go ahead and put this here because it just keeps flopping around. So I guess those of you that know how to do this, you're already long gone. So, and I meant what I said. If you see me doing something wrong or improper, or you think I'm giving some bad advice, please let me know. It's YouTube, and even people with the very best of intentions can pass on misinformation. Not intentionally, but just because they don't know any better. So if I'm doing that, let me know. I got pretty thick skin. That's what happens when you've been around as long as me. So now I got these both in here. There is a little give, and you'll find out, because these have to be, centered in the needle plate. So there is a little give. So just make sure that the back of this, where the screws go in, just make sure it flattens out good. And then they've got to be pretty snug, because that thing just moves all the time, grabs your fabric and underneath, and drags it back under the presser foot. So you've got to be sure that they're in there good. Let's see if that. Yep, we got clearance there. In that service guide, it'll tell you if you can make the height of this, you can center it left and right, how to center it front to back, and everything you need. I think I'll put that down, get those feed dogs down as far as they'll go. And then this is supposed to kind of go in there and pop up and like that. And of course I already put the needle holder to be able to put the needle in to do that, so that looks really nice. Okay, then normally you would just, put this on and put your thumb screw. I'm not gonna do that because the bar's not even straight. Remember when I put this in, and I gotta check the height, and then you're gonna align it with the presser foot in so that it's easy to see if the presser bar is going to be aligned with the feed dogs and not cranked to the side. So I'm going to save that for when I do those adjustments. And that's the end of this one.